Hi again then guys, and welcome to another installment of Pumping Iron on Forza Horizon 3, the review series for the muscle cars in the game, both older and newer. And this is a car which kind of bridges the gap, if you will, between a couple of different categories. It is technically a muscle car, but it's also technically a pickup truck. Overall though, it's the kind of car which is more dominantly thought of in the muscle side of things rather than the pickup truck side, and that's why we're featuring it here. Now of course this car is part of kind of a twin setup, if you will. You've got this and the Chevelle, which is the conventional muscle version, but the question is, how does taking a car which is very capable as a big coupe, very capable indeed, and then totally shifting its weight balance to make it relatively loose over the back end, how does that affect the car? Well, let's break it down in our individual ways and find out, at least, of course, from my perspective. Now, first of all, we have the handling. And for the handling, both in stock and tuned forms, with an overview of it, I'm going to give it a 3, because the handling is quite simply not great. It's certainly not bad, and that's why I'm giving it a 3. 3 is basically middle of the road. Anything lower than that and it would be bad. But to put it higher than that would indicate that it's pretty good, if not great, and that's simply not true. In stock form, it's very heavy, it's very big, and it's very wallowy. It's great for drifting and it's a lot of fun, but the fact that it's rear-wheel drive, it's torquey, it's powerful, and it has most of its weight over the front end just isn't conducive to cornering. When you upgrade it, you can lower it, stiffen it up, make it lighter, but that essential weight balance is always going to be an issue. It's not great. As far as overall handling goes, it can quite easily be outmaneuvered by a number of other muscle cars. As far as its acceleration goes though, I am going to bump it up a little bit to a 4, because yes, in fully tuned form with that 1500 horsepower engine, it absolutely flies, it really does, but that's only when fully tuned, or at least very heavily tuned. In stock form, or if you keep it rear-wheel drive, it has rampant wheel spin, and that really affects its launch, its acceleration, especially low end, and unless you convert it to all-wheel drive or keep the power relatively modest, that's always going to be an issue. As far as top-end performance though, I am definitely giving it a full 5, and it's a very easy 5, one of the easiest in fact, because this is one of those muscle cars that doesn't even need to be tuned to be impressive. This can already do, in stock form, over 160 miles per hour, which for a classic muscle car is very impressive. That's up there with the best of them. Simply put, in the C-Class especially, that can actually outrun a lot of muscle cars in their stock forms, which you'd never expect it to beat, stuff like a Dodge Dart even. And when you tune it, the top-end speed is still monstrous, definitely capable of keeping up with the vast majority of other muscle cars. As far as value for money goes, again, I'm going to have to give it a full 5, because 65 grand isn't dirt cheap by any means, but it's a lot cheaper than many of its other iconic brethren, and for 65 grand, you get a whole lot of car and a whole lot of potential. And speaking of that potential, that finally brings us to the car's usability. What can you actually do with it in multiple classes for multiple racing types? Well, that's where it gets really good, because it starts in the C-Class, you can tune it all the way up to S2, you've got rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, it's a great drag car, drift car, even a track car if you tune it correctly. So the usability is fantastic. It has a very broad range of use and it's highly competitive. So overall, I'm giving it a 5. And as a tabulation of all 5 of our categories put together, I'm giving the Chevy El Camino a score of 88. But that's it for this pick overall. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.